So this situation is very unfortunate, and there's a lot of craziness coming after this situation. Let's talk about it. So let me brief you guys on the situation. There has been a situation where a Ukraine refugee female was coming back from work from her normal job of being a pizza lady. After her work shift, she got on the public transport and just simply sat down, minding her own business. What followed after that was an individual that looked shady sitting behind her. But if you watch the video, you would think nothing of it. Naturally, though, the individual stands up randomly, grabs a blade, and just starts stabbing this woman to death, which is not funny, obviously, but he went crazy on her. And then what happened afterwards is that he just walked away. Now, eventually, thank God, they caught the man. He's arrested and he's being dealt with. But there's a lot of things that are annoying me about the situation. For one, this individual was known to have a very violent history. He's been arrested a dozen of times. Like, I'm talking about a lot of times. This guy has a lot of mugshots. And for me, if you know this individual is a threat to society, why let him escape? Why let him out? Why let him roam the streets? Because now what's happened is an individual, an innocent bystander, has now lost their life because of this. And this is why I say when we allow, bad members of society to roam the streets, this is where situations lead to this. Innocent people get hurt. Innocent people get affected by this. It's not just them. I think a lot of people need to stop showing understanding for character flaws that are genuinely toxic and dangerous to people's lifestyle. I need to put proper scrutiny on the situation. Very heartbreaking situation, considering the fact that she escaped from the Ukraine to have a better life in America and ended up suffering like this. Truly, truly sad. Now, there's a lot of discourse and talk on the internet. There's a lot of people who are just being human beings about the situation and looking at this situation and sending their condolences, because naturally speaking, when you see someone in a situation like this, that's what you're meant to do. However, we have seen a case where the racists have made this a black versus white thing. Again, now, if you've been on my channel for a long time or haven't, let me brief you on what's happening. I've been having beef with the racists for a long time. If you go watch some of these videos, racists have been all over the place. And what I've noticed about racists is that even if you give them the facts, even if you give them the statistics, even if you tell them that they are wrong, they are still going to call you a nigger to your face and continue being ignorant. So it doesn't matter what you say to them. It doesn't matter what you discuss with them. They are racist to the bone and they are okay with that and they are not there to understand. That being said, when you see this situation being turned into a black people need to sort themselves out, black fatigue and stuff like that, it's just another kind of attempt at jumping or waiting for an opportunity to ship on black people. When in actuality, this is why I think that they're cowards, because you never liked black people in the first place. This is my annoyance, right? Racists never ever liked black people in the first place. They never did. So when I see them jumping at these situations saying, this is why I'm racist, you are lying and you're a coward. Because naturally speaking, you always hated black people. And now you are now cherry picking this situation to fit the narrative that you have inside of you, which you think, hey, this situation proves why I'm a racist. No, it still shows that you're ignorant for the simple fact that what does one criminal's actions, a black criminal, have to do with the actions of a million billions of black people? The ish makes no sense. If we're even going to talk about that, what about the white criminals who have gone on and been serial killers? What about the white criminals who have gone on and just randomly done things like this guy, just seen a random person and just unalived them? What about the school shooters? What about all of that? My point being is you keep making this standard as if you guys are making sense, and you're not making sense. That's the annoying thing with racists. They keep thinking they're making sense. And I see a bunch of ignorant videos, even with a bunch of videos from Uncle Tom's and stuff like that, saying that this is why white people are scared of black people. Who cares?
We don't have a crime problem. We have a race problem and a nigger problem. A 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee was stabbed to death by a nigger whose name I won't even say. And I think he deserves a lesser title than nigger. I think calling him a nigger is too disrespectful to the word nigger. This is a prime example for why people don't like being around niggers and are skeptical anytime they're around black people. We are the main reason for why people in this country don't like black people. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm not a fan of the Ukrainian refugees being here. However, the fact that a Ukrainian refugee escapes a war-torn country, where a country being bombed, her countrymen being killed, they come over here to the United States where she thinks it's safe, gets fucking killed by some nigga on a train. This is what makes people racist. This is what makes people biased. This is what makes people have prejudice towards black people. It's behavior like this that we don't call out, that we don't police, and we don't get these fucking people off the street. Black fatigue is increasing significantly. And I'm telling you this, when people bounce back, everyone in this country, it's not going to be nice for us as black people.
If white people wanted to be scared of black people, that's because they always wanted to be scared of black people. This ain't got issue to do with this situation. They've been racist. They're too scared to admit it. So don't give me that crap. At the end of the day, when we see situations like this, one thing we have to understand and be guaranteed of is that anytime a black person does something wrong and gets the punishment that they rightfully deserve, there will always be racists there to justify their cowardice. There will always be racists there to say, hey, look at this one situation, therefore I'm going to blame the whole race of people for it. It would be ignorant if we saw white murders and we judged the whole group of white people and said everyone was racist and X, Y, and Z. It just would be, point blank, period. So point is, don't be using this situation to highlight that there's a black people problem when it's just one out of, every billions of people in that group. In addition to that, I also did want to address some rumors that are being spread by the media and social media and stuff like that. There's a lot of people saying that no one came to the girl's aid and they just left her there. When you look at the video properly, you can see in the video that the guy stabbed her so quickly to the point where no one knew what happened because their faces were turned to the window. Everyone's focusing then in the road. So by the time they turn around, all they see is a guy walking with a literal trail of blood because everyone's asking him like, oh, you're bleeding out. Take care of yourself and stuff like that. They're thinking that he's the person that's injured himself because he's walking around with a trail of blood. Naturally, that's the main focus. They're not focused, though, on the girl that's just been stabbed because nothing's coming out of her yet. And they see the girl holding herself like that. At that point, there's no blood. There's no anything in the video. No one can see that there's blood leaking out of her. So they just mind their own business. Now, I want you guys to pause the video and look carefully at these people on the screen because the media is trying to portray as if they didn't do anything. I'm going to point out 3 of them. I don't know if the other ones, but there's at least 3 that are confirmed to have been there to help her out. So you see the red shirt lady, the media are sharing around the video. They purposely skipped the part where they helped, right? But if you look closely at this end shot, at the end of the footage that they've shared around, you can see here, if you zoom in close, she's there calling for help and X, Y, and Z. And furthermore from that, you also see the beige guy with the dreads stand up. He's there trying to check if she's okay. And additionally to that, there's also the guy in the gray jumper who went away at first because obviously he saw the trail of blood. And then as soon as he realized what was happening, he ran back. So yeah, people did help, but the media doesn't want to do that. Why is the media cutting out that footage? For me personally, I think they're trying to start like a race thing. I'm not just for conspiracies, but they're purposely trying to do like a black versus white thing. And they knew if they show black people trying to help out this white girl, that's going to not fit their narrative. They purposely cut out the footage. This was hard to find, but they purposely cut out all of them, coincidentally cut out the part where they were trying to help. It's not because that they just watched and they were just being heartless. They just generally didn't know. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would be in that same situation as well. Granted, she was crying, yes, but usually when you see people having an emotional case on the bus, you mind your own business because you don't know what it's about. Some guy even took off his top to wrap around her neck to make sure that the blood stops leaking around. So the media is going around doing this thing. I think it's on purpose where they're making it seem as if like all the black people just watch this woman bleed out and not want to help her at all, when really they didn't even show the full extent and the proper pictures and accurate photos of the situation. They cut out some bits to purposely defer people away and cause more further division. And I think that's bad faith overall. Show the full context of what happened. Show that people actually helped. Show why people seemed as if they didn't help her first. Don't just go around spreading division and hate for no reason, but this is what they want. This is what the media wants. They want us to be fighting each other. And I feel like when I see situations like this, being so easy to understand if people just did further research, it breaks my heart to see how easily you can manipulate human beings. We all talk about, we're smarter than that. And the human beings, we're fierce and we can fight back and X, Y, Z. But human beings are so easy to manipulate. Look how this situation has manipulated a mass group of people to the point where people are having a false narrative that, oh, she was left alone and like no one came to help her and it's a black people problem. This is why I have my channel. I promote critical thinking. I promote doing your research. I promote doing your reading, because the fact of the matter is we are in a society where there's people who are doing more than that compared to us. And because they are reading more, because they're doing more research more, because they're doing all the things that people naturally think is boring and don't want to do, that is why they are smarter. And that's why they constantly have one up over you. Individual watching this, whether you disagree with me or not, you need to read. You need to research. You need to look at these topics and not just shoot first and ask questions later. You have to ask questions and thoroughly analyze it. Do not allow yourself to be manipulated so easily, because that's what they want. You have to understand that these people that are in the higher ups in the media, whatever agenda they want to push, they know they can push it to you because you are easy to manipulate. And it's a disrespect to yourself that you will live on this earth for how many years and you just allow yourself to be easily manipulated. You allow yourself to be told false narratives and false things, and you just go by with it just because they said so. We have to do better. We have to make sure that we are fighting a battle on the same level playing field, rather than just allowing ourselves to think it's not a big deal and our enemy is constantly winning over us. I really hate that human beings are so easy to manipulate, but I encourage you guys to keep doing research, keep doing what you have to do so that things like this can't manipulate you and sway you for their agenda. 'Cause at the end of the day, the only people that win at the end of this are those people who have that agenda. You may be thinking that, oh, you watch this situation and now you're against black people, or you see the racists online saying what they're saying, and that, you know, you're going to be against white people and all kinds of stuff like that. But the reason why the media and the reason why these higher ups are shooting all of this, you know, false narratives and propaganda is because they have a plan. They want to win at the end of it. And to win, they need you guys to fight against each other. This is times where we need to unite with each other. We're in dark times and we need to do better with the brains that God has given us. Let's stop being lazy. Let's stop letting people tell us what's the truth, and let's go and dig the truth for ourselves, because enough is enough of this manipulation. If you're a black person watching this and you've seen this propaganda of, oh, this is why white people are scared of us, never buy into it. Never ever buy into it. It's a bunch of BS, because with that logic, then they should be scared of each other. But they're not, because there's one rule for them and another rule for you. Rules for thee, not for me. They keep changing the goalposts. So don't ever be made to feel as if you being black is an issue. Don't ever made to be feel like you need to prove that you're not one of the bad ones. 'Cause at the end of the day, if you know you're not one of the bad ones and someone's ignorant to think you're one of the bad ones, that's a them problem, not you. Additionally to that as well, we should be asking more questions. Why was this guy released many times? Why wasn't this guy just allowed to be out in public? Why, if he, at the very least, why don't you just put him on house arrest? There's a lot of people we can blame for this whole situation, and I really do hope that he gets a really great punishment, because that is just like, imagine if that's your daughter, imagine if that's your mom, imagine if that's someone that you knew. They just went out randomly. You guys went through all that trauma to escape the country that you've been suffering in, all for it to just be for nothing. It is heartbreaking to hear things like that. And I pray for the family. I pray that they get the justice that they deserve. And I really pray that this individual gets what they deserve. You know, like this individual, sick behaviors, sick tendencies, you know. But the police force, the judicial system, the person who decided to let him go really needs to be scrutinized after this, because at the end of the day, they had the opportunity and the responsibility to ensure that the decision made sense. And from what we can see right now, the decision didn't make sense. There are a lot people of the higher authority need to be held accountable, and they need to be properly and thoroughly examined as to why they did what they did. And they should receive consequences as well, because if you're in a position where you have the authority to let people go, you should have the common sense to know that this person is still being a threat. But who knows? Maybe the person was showing good traits and then just caught him at a bad day. Whatever the case may be, it's a heartbreaking story. But what do you think about this whole situation? I'd be really interested to hear some conversation pointers and things that you have to say in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. With that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And that being said, God bless, take care. I'll see you guys next video.